Welcome back.
Welcome back to Rocket Table Talk. This is Rocket Table Talk on a episode specifically made, episode 1.
Yeah. Last week was an intro.
An intro video. So what we plan to do today is break down a little bit on barbarians.
Barbarians. We've been saving that a lot.
That's like the key thing when it comes to barbarians. Is what we're thinking of is Dave the Barbarian, the classic Disney character.
That's the best character.
So this time we're trying to do something a little bit different, and we've got a little bit more structure to how we're talking. So we've got some key points that we're going to break down, and hopefully if you guys like it, leave it in the comments, or if you can't, contact us on one of our social medias, or send us an email, all at Rocket Tabletop. Different varying of cases and subcategories. But
you'll find us one way or another.
Oh yeah, we're everywhere.
Yep.
So, Jasmine.
Yes.
When you think of a barbarian, what does it look like in your mind?
He's a big shirtless.
Did you just say he?
Yeah. He's delicious to look at. No, most of the time he's holding like a big axe, big beard, very tall. It would be weird seeing a little one, but they exist. But big, tall, hulking guy that runs in the battle, swinging his axe, not really caring for who he comes in contact with, whether it be the enemy or like an NPC or someone.
So you always think that a barbarian should be a big hulking dude?
I've not seen that.
What am I then? Chop liver?
Or maybe. No. No, but genuinely in my mind, I picture men, but I love when people go against that grain. Against the grain? Against the river?
I don't know. This is your saying, not mine.
Against it and do something different. Speaking of women, there's a fair few women in pop culture that are female barbarians.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
We got a list down of a few of them that we could think of. On our Twitter, we did put out a question for a following episode we got coming up on bards, and we have had a really good response as the time of this recording.
Yeah.
But for instance, some of them that we could think of is like She-Hulk. She-Hulk is a barbarian, apparently.
Yeah, She-Hulk is a barbarian, absolutely. Thankfully, she has more brains than as well as brawns, because in the comics, she's in control of the Hulk inside her instead of your classic.
He's inside her. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a Hulk inside of everyone. There's a Hulk inside of you.
I wish. If I could be that jacked, I fucking would be.
But that color though.
As a caveat, I'd take it.
Really?
I'd be green if I could be
green?
jacked. Yeah.
Oh, no, gross. Yeah, there's other ones like we've got Xena, the warrior princess. Like that's a really good example of a female barbarian.
So with Xena though, I think yes, she is a barbarian because she goes in, but she's also very she's calculated with how she fights. So I think she wouldn't just be a pure barbarian. She would be
multi-class.
She'd be like a multi-class of like her and a fighter, or even her and a rogue even.
Rogue? Like really?
2 levels in rogue and the rest of it barbarian, 1 in fighter. Like some bullshit like that. Just like from the TV show, remembering she does a lot of acrobatics. She does have moments of stealthiness. She throws her little...
But barbarians would have high athletics and acrobatics because athletics is a strength feature, isn't it? Or is it dex? It's right next to you.
Acrobatics or athletics?
Acrobatics. Athletics is 100% strength.
Is dex.
Oh, there you go. So she'd have to have something that in her dex modifier.
Yeah, but then it's not a barbarian then.
Yes, it is. You have to have a number in your dex field anyway.
But then other than that, we've also got some
classic male ones.
Yeah, like Conan the Barbarian, obviously. Yeah. Dave the Barbarian. The classic comedic value from the TV show Dave the Barbarian.
Yep. You got Drax. Drax is absolutely a barbarian. If not only in like pure strength, but most barbarians that I've ever met in games don't play in the smarts. Like there's not a lot in their intelligence score.
No.
And Drax like leans into that.
Well, except for when he does those stealth checks and
but he fails the stealth checks.
But he's mastered the act of standing still.
Can't see.
So
we can see you.
The one here that we've got down is Tarzan.
I don't know because he's a Dexy guy.
I think you're thinking too literally about the stat distribution.
Yeah.
So you keep thinking more of the like he's acrobatic-y and athletic-y. But he's still just a fucking beast. Like he is raised by monkeys. Gorillas.
Yeah. Gorillas.
So like he's got that going for him. He is ridiculously strong. He uses his feet which is
He
disgusting
does.
as a point
I
because we
like
don't
it.
like, you like feet.
Feet are interesting, but I don't like them.
That's disgusting.
Oh, wow. Rude.
Bringing it back
That's
again.
count one. Yeah. So, I mean, most people assume barbarians are very big, bulky class, but they don't have to be. You can really play into some of the other strengths and weaknesses that we can see in barbarians. So a common feature that I think we all recognize, and if you want to get your player's handbook out and have a look through barbarian, you can see it. But a common barbarian mechanic is rage, and like we talked about earlier with Hulk and that kind of stuff, a rage is a very, very common feature. So what was the breakdown again of rages? Did you have it there? Yeah.
Yes. It's here listed on our...
Yeah. So it counts as a bonus action if you're not wearing heavy armor. So with barbarians, armor as well, speaking, there's either with or without, I think that's any class, but you gain a bonus if you're not wearing armor.
So then it goes back to Tarzan, who doesn't wear armor.
Yes, that
so
is
then wouldn't
true.
he be a barbarian in that sense? And then he rages when he fights Clayton at the end of the movie.
Actually, yeah, you are right. Though, yes, he does. So I reckon you're right. Maybe Tarzan is like pure barbarian, but he just has like a misunderstood background.
Misunderstood. He was raised by gorillas. They don't speak
Yeah.
the same language. It's
Yeah,
not
but he's a
misunderstood. There is
sweetheart.
no understood.
Some of the gorillas didn't want him.
Yeah, that fucking
The
beef
silverback,
one.
yeah.
The alpha.
The dad. Yeah, the alpha.
The daddy.
Would you ever play a barbarian? Like, is it in your characters to play?
Look, okay, to be fair, when I first was getting into Dungeons and Dragons not too long ago, I thought being a barbarian, it's cool on paper, but then reading it, doing the breakdown for this podcast specifically, it sounds extremely boring if you're just playing it as a straight barbarian. The reason I say that is because it's like the benefits they get is only a custom when they're in rage.
Yes.
But they don't really get that many benefits outside of rage. So it's just like, wouldn't you rather just play like a fighter and then just go into a tankier stance?
Yes.
But then
multi-class with a barbarian.
like even like, a 2 or 3 levels into barbarian, have those benefits, have the rage mechanic on top of whatever fighting action surges that you get as well.
So would you say barbarian's a great beginner class then because it's not overly complicated? Like you've got sorcerer, wizards and warlock. There's a lot going on a lot of the time because you have to deal with spells, spell slots. As a wizard, you have to carry a book around and all that kind of stuff. Would you say a barbarian's a great entry?
I honestly say
class?
no.
Really?
I honestly think that because it's so basic, it's deterring people from playing harder classes later on. Because you only get so many mechanics, right?
Yeah.
You only get rage, you only get unarmored defense, you only get the extra movement at 5, like that sort of stuff. But
I mean, you do get reckless attack though at level 2, which is pretty cool. So at the start of your attack turn, you gain advantage on melee attack rolls, but you do have advantage on rolls against you.
yeah.
So that's pretty cool. You get to roll the 2d20s and you get to pick the higher number. So you're always, if you're using reckless attack, you're normally always going to hit.
But when
like,
do you use it? Like that's the thing. If you're in a big fight and you're not versing like the big bad, and you use your reckless attack in that sense, and as well as that you're raging, which means you've used one of your counts. Let's say you're an early level character. But like if you're just starting to play the game, you would always instinctively go, yep, I'm going to use rage. Oh, I can't use rage anymore. And then if the party is experienced and you're the unexperienced one, you're just so like flatline, put to a disadvantage later on because you've used up everything at the start. I think if as a beginner class, I think that you'd want to play something that has a little bit of balance to both like the amount of times you can do something to the reward that gets to it. I'd rather have something that you can use more consistently, but have something that can be, that doesn't have that much of a benefit to it. Like, I don't know, to me, I would say that being a cleric would be a great first, like a beginner class, even though there's a lot of things.
What's a great first class? Druid.
See, even okay. As much as I take the piss out of it, I still think that yes, being a druid is a better beginner class than being a barbarian.
It's a nice one because you have some pretty straightforward bonuses. For example, wild shape you get at 2nd level, and that even if that's the only thing you use, it's still got enough. Apologies for lack of words right now. Brain to mouth is not connected. There's so much to explore in that.
Yeah.
Even though it's one benefit, you could be a wolf or you could be a monkey. You could eventually turn into an eagle and fly. And there's all those benefits. And as a barbarian, yes, it's a very basic, but I really think that you can lean into that. So, for example, in my campaign, we have a gnome barbarian. So he's itty-bitty man.
So the
with
opposites of what you think
big,
of.
bulky. Yeah, so completely opposite. And he leans into it being very rage, reckless attack, no armor, constantly strips nude. Like stupid shit like that is what makes it really fun to have. And I wouldn't picture our swingers clubs for dwarves over 50 years to not have Nert in there. Nert Twerkleton is the barbarian in our campaign, and he's so fun to play with because he'll always use reckless attack. Like they're trying to be stealthy and they're trying to like break into this like house and steal the gold while the what are they called? Guards. I was trying to think warriors. I'm like, that's not the right word. While the guards are there, and then I've got 3 of them going over the rooftop, and one of them climbing through a window, and then one's on guard, and then there's Nert, and he's like, I'm gonna reckless attack and charge in there and crash bang, and everything's a mess, and everyone's like, oh my god. But because he has advantage, he'll take out the 3 guards. Yeah, he'll make a fuck ton of noise and probably alert more guards, but it gives them enough time to go in and grab a bunch of stuff while he can take the heat of damage because they have, a 1d12 hit dice?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so they normally are quite tanky beings. So yeah, their armor might be a little bit lower, but they can take that hit.
But not necessarily. Like the fact that they have an armored defense gives them the benefit of having their armor class be determined by dex and constitution modifiers. Mm-hmm. And then as we were researching this, I didn't actually know this until now. Mm-hmm. They do get the bonuses on top of that with a shield as well. So you could potentially have your dex, your constitution, your shield.
Yeah.
And that still counts as being unarmored. And I think...
So you can actually have quite high armor.
Yeah.
Being naked.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if he was completely nude?
That's unarmored.
What if he had a shield just on his private or her private parts? Could she use 2 shields on her titties?
I don't think shields stack. I think you only get the benefit of 1 shield.
Can you have 2 shields?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure you can. If you talk to your DM, always discuss with your DM.
About running nude in your campaign.
Yep.
Please do not run murder hobo campaigns, guys.
No murder hobo.
Like, yeah, okay. In that sense, yeah, I can see it. But to your question of, do I think it's a beginner class? I really don't think it is. I'd rather have someone who can explore different things rather than you're tanky, you're strong, and you do attacks, than having... You're a druid, you can heal, you can do magic damage, you can go in, you can wild shape, you can change into beast. From that, you can be tanky and do the damage and stuff.
I like having a barbarian in a party. I think they're a fun class to have just because they're so over the top.
You have one barbarian
in
one of many campaigns that you are currently running. I don't understand what you're trying to say.
What about Thor? When our friend Thor used to play.
Just for clarification, we have a friend, we call him Thor. His name is not Thor. He just looks like the Asgardian.
Sounds like.
Oh yeah, he's...
We got to have him on once. You guys would just love his like smooth
velvet thunder voice is what it sounds like. So when he was playing as Cracker, so we were trying to get at?
No, he wasn't Cracker.
He was Cracker. Crush.
I was like, you were Cracker. That was your character.
My love of my life.
Why are you here?
Oh my god. We'll talk more about Cracker when it comes to our cleric episode down the line.
Yeah.
But okay, so what about Crush is what you're trying to get at?
So Crush would do stupid shit, and which is I really think a great characteristic of a barbarian. You don't have to play it that way, but most barbarians, people lean into the idiotic side of it. Just big hulking dudes or women who have been hit around the head probably or one too many because they don't have armor up there and are just a bit like that's funny.
Wait, how do they go? Do that one more time.
Again.
Yeah, right.
So he'd do dumb stuff like drink like werewolf blood to hope that he would maybe turn into one. That's not how it works. I mean, maybe it is, but like it's funny. No,
I'm contemplating what you're saying, but at the same, like you can be silly, and you can be funny.
Yeah.
As like Nert and Crush.
Yeah.
But you can also like play it super serious
Absolutely.
and then not do any of that, and then you're still just doing the mad damage and have the mad like armor class. So yeah, there's multiple ways you can play it. Like we've just given multiple examples of it.
Yeah.
But regardless of what you choose, I still don't think that being a barbarian counts as being a very beginner-friendly class in my mind.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. There's a lot more with barbarians as well. So just touching on primal paths, they've got in most of the books, I think in the first one they have 2. So you got your player's handbook, they have 2, because I think most classes only have normally 2 subclasses inside that.
Clerics have many.
Do they have 3 or 4?
Many moons.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you
Even
go.
Druid has 3 at base.
No, they've only got 2.
They got moon, they've got wild
Land.
form.
No,
Moon and land, is that it?
that's it.
I stand by what I said.
Yeah, you're a shit cunt. No. So they have a few. So Path of Ancestral Guardian, Path of the Berserker, which is definitely a player's handbook one. And the last one was the Totem Warrior. Was Totem Warrior in players?
Look, when I wrote these notes down, I didn't actually see where
Yeah,
they
I
were from.
noticed.
Except for the Unearthed Arcana version of it.
Rip this boy open with
So,
these pages. Oh, I love that sound.
Disgusting. So while Jasmine's looking through and seeing what's part of what, if you were to play a barbarian and you do get to level 3, when you pick your primal class, they all have different things that they can actually give you. So Path of the Ancestral Guardian.
Totem Warrior, yeah. Nailed it.
Nice. Pretty much the Ancestral Guardian gives you the assistance of a spiritual guardian. So you can roleplay that as much as you want. Going back to like your ancestor or someone in your town, or you could just do it as like...
Brother Bear.
Oh, Brother Bear.
Oh my God, Brother Bear's probably a barbarian.
Why? Because he's got
and
a
his
spirit.
totem warrior's the bear for love.
Don't touch me.
Oh, fuck off. Oh,
So,
fucking Brother Bear.
so yeah, the Guardian can like do multiple things. It can like hinder attackers, provide a shield for you and your party. Eventually, it does able to cast spells out, like damaging spells.
Yeah, which you can only buy them in the... Which one is it? Martial Powers and Races spellbook cards.
By what?
If you wanted to buy cards, please let me buy all the cards.
You have the cards.
I have nearly all of them.
But the only
Maybe
thing
it's
is like the Guardian only comes out when you're raging. So it goes back to you can only get the benefits of being a barbarian if you're raging, and you can only rage as many times as what your level is. There's a chart in the player's handbook of how many times per level.
But that's the same with like druids and wild shape. You can only get the benefits of the wild shape when you're in the wild shape form, and you can only use it for an excess number of times a day.
Yeah, but when you wild shape as a druid, what's the time limit on that? 1 hour.
I think it's an hour, yeah.
When you're raging at the early levels as a barbarian, if you get hit, your rage stops.
Really?
Yeah, there is such a caveat until you get to
Yeah,
that
okay.
it gets to higher levels of what actually stops you.
So knowing that, you'd want to then really you'd want your highest numbers in dex and strength to keep
Not
your
dex.
armor.
Stop saying dex.
Well, isn't your armor based your
Dex
AC?
and const, yes.
Oh, is it dex and cons?
Yes.
Not strength and
No.
cons?
If you were to scroll up on the document and you look
That's
at
why no one
the
fucking
subcategory
loves
of unarmored defense, dex and const,
Yeah, all right. Well, no one else.
written
Your
there
opinion.
in plain English in the font of Helvetica.
That's why no one likes you. That's why I have friends and you don't.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't need friends when I have D&D.
That is true.
So
No, actually, no. You definitely need friends to play D&D. Like that's like the number one thing you need.
no, you need pen. You
But
need to
how
be
do you
able to
play?
play paper, and you need a book to know the rules.
But then you can't play.
You can do it's all in the mind.
Oh my god.
You could be the DM
Jesus.
and the player and
Right,
the
are we
party
even here?
and
No.
the enemy. Trust me, I lived many of my
Yeah.
nights alone by myself.
I think so.
I've role played many games alone. So yeah, Part of the Berserker is another one, which is as it sounds. You do more damage, and you create fear in the enemies around you. So if you're going into the all in, do the damage while raging, this is definitely a path that you would want to go for that. But again, it depends on how you're playing it. If your party has like healers in it, that might be better for you. But I don't personally.
Would
like
you?
that.
So going back to putting fear in your enemies, was it eyes? Is that what we said? Putting just the fear in your
In your
enemies.
Yeah.
How could you do that if you had the voice that was all the way up here?
Yeah, it's like a shout that you do. So I guess if it goes, and then it just radiates out of you like a thunderclap. So I guess if you
Like the
wanna
dog from Up that had the like voice problem.
I don't watch kids movies.
That's a lie. You absolutely do. You watch more kids movies than I do.
No. Power Rangers is educational for my future job as
Voltron?
being a Power Ranger. I will be a mech pilot, and I need to know the controls.
Transformers.
I will control a robot, and I need to be able to control it right.
The kids shows.
They're not.
We
They're
know bears.
educational. Is about bears, and I like
They're
bears.
the best. Bears are the best. But okay, so do you always see barbarians as serious roles then? Can you play them absolutely stupid?
At the start of this, you literally just named 2 that weren't serious. So, in conclusion, no, they don't have to be serious.
Well, how would you play it serious then? If you were playing a barbarian and you were playing a serious barbarian.
Like Batman. Stoic,
Oh, okay.
dark,
Yeah.
mysterious, and just buff as fuck
Oh, I can feel my heart giving out.
from the Red Bull.
Yeah, I know. It's killing me.
Yeah,
I
Red
got
Bull,
the
please
biggest one.
sponsor us. We love you a lot. It's just killing Jasmine slowly.
It's only a limited number of episodes before I go into like cardiac arrest.
Oh, I'm waiting for that episode.
It's like normal. Yeah, no, I think Batman's a really good example of how you could play a barbarian stoic.
Not
so much Batman as a character.
Do you remember the
but-
episode when Batman goes back in time and he goes to his like primal, like
Batman Primal? Isn't that what it's called?
That's Far Cry Primal. It's a game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I
I
don't know. What it's
know
called.
there's figures that are like called the DC Primal Age ones, and they're like the He-Man
Yeah.
looking ones. Haven't you seen them?
The He-Man ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stupid.
So similar to that, but there's like actually like in the comics and in the episodes, he goes back and it's like
I know the
caveman
Mother Russia
Batman.
one that he does.
So yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
So Russia and back in time,
That's
different
back in time. Russia's like
Current.
always in the 20s, like 20 years behind us. Please don't feel offended, Russians. if you're
Putin, we
listening.
love you. Please don't fire us
Yeah.
for the motherland.
But I think you're right. I think if we were playing Batman would, as a barbarian,
Did you
you'd
say Batman?
Batman.
Or is it Bardman Batman?
Barbarian Batman.
Barbarian Batman. Okay.
Try to say that twice as fast.
Barbarian
5 times.
Batman, Barbarian Batman, Barbarian Batman, Barbarian Batman. Yeah, that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Can't do that one.
Yeah. But going back to what the primal shit that you were saying.
Yeah.
He-Man. He-Man is a barbarian.
He-Man's a barbarian.
So
Like,
he's-
absolutely.
When he's Prince Eric, he's a little bitch. But then he gets the sword.
Wait, Prince Eric?
Isn't that his name? I don't know. What's okay, I'm going to keep telling my
While
story.
you do that, yeah.
So I think it's Prince, isn't it Prince Eric? I just
Prince
made that
Eric
fucking
is
up.
like, I think of Ariel.
Yeah. The name Eric is not just associated with it.
Disney got the copyright. It's Disney's now forever.
Oh, there's a website called heman.org. It's called the most powerful site in the universe. Yeah, this is fucking nothing that I thought it would be.
Just do He-Man wiki. Yeah, you play him just stoic, very serious. Would he have like a checkered past where he's like only attacks
No, I think he
the
prefers
people
chess.
he's on?
It's Prince Adam. So I was close.
That's not even close.
Eric and Adam, they're both four-letter
They're
white
not.
boy names. Just one
I mean,
starts with
Doug's
E
a
and one...
four-letter white person's name, and you're not. I mean, you are.
And Jasmine is a name for a piece of shit. So there you go. What's the difference? Anyway, so if you're Prince Eric, you're a little bitch. But then you rage.
Adam.
If you go to Prince Eric and then you rage and then you turn to He-Man, you're pretty much playing as a raging barbarian.
Yes, 100%.
That's all I was...
100%.
In conclusion, He-Man.
Adam. Yeah. Look, I think Barbarian's on the list of ones that I want to play. I definitely play like maybe like an edgelord, incel sort of barbarian, like neck beard.
Word of the day today,
Like-
incel. Please look it up.
I was blown away with what that was, and I just only discovered them recently.
If you were to play a barbarian, this
Yeah.
is a segue, would you play with a mighty weapon or dual wield? That's my question for you.
It depends on the two weapons that I am wielding. Like, I think we were talking about this the other day, that I would have 2 axes, but like small mini hand axes in my side, and then one massive one that I would always have like on my back. But the blades would like come past me, so it
shoulder
just
width?
looks stupid. And I'd have that all the time, so people would feel threatened by me. So the fear thing. But if I was like charging into battle, I'd like yeet that motherfucker like as far as I could, take out as many as I can, then like rip these 2 open and have these like swinging, maybe even on handles, so I could like Thor it and like throw myself up in the air and like slam down.
Axes are on handles.
Like the little wrist straps.
Wrist straps are not handles. I'm just going to point that out for everyone.
Fucking rude.
The anatomy of an axe is blade, handle, and then strap.
Maybe not my one. Maybe it's just straight handle.
It's axe head. And then a little like bracelet that you just wear it around your wrist.
Woo! How do you chop wood? You just have to like swing your wrist. You can't hold it, so it's like...
I don't think you do chop wood. Unless you go like full like chainsaw and just put your hands through it.
Speed.
Like General Grievous style. Like when he
Oh,
spins
yeah.
the lightsabers, you're just doing that.
It's like a wind-up mechanic, and it's like...
Did we just stumble on the most brilliant idea for a barbarian? Write that down. Oh my god. Chainsaw wrist guards.
Okay, we'll save that for later.
So if you were being a... Let's step aside from that. If you were being a serious barbarian,
Yes.
what would be the voice? If you were role-playing it, how would you do it? But let's do it as a serious one. Give me an example of what the voice would be. So he's Scottish.
I couldn't do Scottish even if I tried. Yes, I'd have it like at a lower octave, and that I'm always very serious. But I don't speak a lot because I've been hit in the head too many times. But my like stature is enough. So it's like one word responses. You'd be like, "How's your dad?" I'm like, "Good."
I thought you were
You're gonna leave the pause in there.
I thought you were gonna be
twitch
like,
out.
dead. That would have been funny.
Alive. So
Retired down the road.
what do you want out of life? Papayas.
Fuck.
Because I was going to say revenge, but you'd have expected that.
Out of life I was going to say like
Papayas.
a wife or
a
dog companion or be able to retire
Somebody
in peace.
to love me.
Be able to bench 420. I don't know.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Like some bullshit
Maybe,
like that.
Would you reckon a barbarian could bench 420?
For 20 pounds.
Could little
or
little
kilos.
Nert,
What are we doing?
I don't know how much. Pounds is double, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, like 200.
Yeah. Maybe little Nert can do that. I'll ask him next time I see him.
Yeah.
Can Nert bench 420?
That number was just a random number I thought of. That's not something that I was thinking about.
Maybe you were. I don't know.
It's currently 12:54 in the afternoon. No. Okay. If you were trying to make a barbarian funny, what would be the voice you would do it? I have a pretty good answer for this. But
So I would do the same thing where I only have like a few word responses.
Okay.
But I would play the biggest thing. So I'd do a Goliath like everyone expects. And I'd do the barbarian. But he has a little voice. And he likes like little unicorns. And
So from Tangled.
yeah, like Tangled. Like that's exactly how I envisioned it. The biggest, scariest motherfucking looking dude. And he has like a pink axe because he bought it in the women's section because that still exists. Get a little sexist tone in there.
It's okay. That's fair enough.
How would you make him funny?
I was going to go the completely different route of
Okay.
He's a dumb fuck where he just talks like this. Kind of a bit of a Yogi Bear.
What in the picnic basket?
Smarter than the average bear.
Yes, and he is a bear.
Yeah. But like I would go with that and just play him super dumb. So instead of full sentences, he'd start off every sentence with and then end it with I don't know, like the completely wrong thing of always trying to say. Like give me a question, I'll respond as a derpy.
Okay, so you're on an adventure.
Not a question.
It is. It's going to. Let me tell
set
the
the
story.
mood,
I'm
okay.
setting the story. You and your party are out searching for the hidden totem to release the treasure beneath. And you come across an NPC and he asks you, where are you heading?
The Rockland,
Oh my god.
the Ocean City.
The Yacht Club.
Like even though he's trying to say the mountains, he says the Rockland. Like he's smart in the sense he knows what he's trying to say,
But he doesn't know what the word
but
is.
the brain's wrong.
It's almost like he's learning English for the first time.
It's like instead of like walking into a tavern and asking for food, he just goes in and goes, apples.
Apples.
And the DM's job to determine whether that means he wants an apple.
I want the meat stick.
Meat stick.
What's that? He wants a steak.
It's like, he really wants food, please. We haven't fed him in a couple of days.
Yep.
Please change him as well while you're at it.
Would he have like a droopy eye? Like he's actually been hit in the head like one too many times?
I think, you know the character in in The Hobbit who has like the axe in its head?
Yes!
Like, I think you would play it as if he has something like that. I just fucked up the computer and I don't know how to fix it.
There it is.
I fixed it.
So that's pretty funny. And I really, really like that. So maybe we should make our own barbarian today. Have you got a character sheet ready to go?
Oh, look at that.
Oh my God. It was like we were organized.
If anyone who's listening at home, we do have a sheet present with us today. Okay. So we're gonna quickly do just a character that we had this idea the other day.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I think I was more leaning towards. Jazz was just kind of just jumped on the bandwagon of like everything I was saying. Smooth.
Yeah, thank you.
I still can't get the fucking windows to change, and it's really pissing me off now.
Well, then stop doing it that way.
That's how you fucking do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish you were dead. Fuck you. Okay, so the idea of my barbarian is he is a centaur. Firstly. So he's got high movement speed. Because at level 5, you do get the bonus of the... I think it's level 5, is it? Let's see.
I think it was. No, extra attack. Oh, fast movement.
Yeah, you get fast movement, so you get the extra speed at 10.
Speedy boy.
Extra 10 feet of movement at level 5. But I want him to just be super quick, to run in, rage, and run out all in the same move.
Yeah.
That's what I want him to be.
So you'd have enough speed that your half speed is enough to attack someone.
Yes.
Like you can approach and move back.
And then weren't you telling me the other day that
Centaurs are at 50.
That's not what I was asking, but thank you for that.
Yeah.
They have the charge as like baseline to
They do
their
have
kit,
a charge, yeah. So
it's
that
30
can
feet
be
minimum.
30 feet minimum. So
So-
you'd have to have that quite high. But it's enough. Yes.
No, I was going to say if everyone normally has 30 feet of movement, except for like elves
And centaurs.
and centaurs, but if you have 60 at 5, let's say the 50 baseline, let's say it is 50 for a centaur, and then you have the 10 extra at 5, that means you have 60. It means you could charge in 30, charge, do an attack, and then and run out.
Yeah.
And that can be your one turn.
Yes.
That's essentially, it's like a hit and run tactic.
Hit and run tactic. And then you at level 5, you still get the extra attack. So you could do a hit and run, or you could hit one and then charge another one and hit again.
Can you multi-charge on the same turn?
I'm going to assume yes. No,
You're the
actually, I
GM.
take it back. I'm going to assume no. It's Ravnica's like the only book that we don't own yet.
Please, this is a chance for our sponsors to provide us with books of Dungeons and Dragons.
Physical or digital, but I prefer physical.
You
I was
said
going to
the
say
wrong
digital.
thing.
I really fucking did.
Okay, back to the character design. So the name of the character that we're going with, for anyone who is wanting to see this sheet, we are making it at level 5 probably.
It'd be fun.
So we're going to upload this to our social media as an image. So if anyone wants to download it and play it themselves, they're more than welcome to. The character the name that we came up with was Kentor. The centaur, because I pronounced it wrong. And
he's part of the Kardashian clan.
He's part of the Kardashian clan. Is that his surname? Is Kardashian?
Do you want a book?
Why do I need a book?
So it's not you're not writing on
Paper?
Yes.
That's how
I
you
have
write.
a lot of books. Can we use them?
Please,
These
sponsors,
ones
send us.
provided.
No. Does that even have any barbarian stuff in it?
No, it's more for DMs. It's a really good one.
Then why the fuck did you pull that one
Because
out?
I like it, and I spent money on it, and I need to justify some of my spendings. I don't though, because I just love buying D&D stuff.
Eventually, if we get good at doing
there's
this,
stuff about the Raven Queen.
that means nothing to a
Yeah,
barbarian. Okay,
Might
so
just send Kentor. You know what? Fuck it. It is now.
what?
He loves the Raven Queen.
That's his. What is that going to be? His
trait.
bond? Is it? He loves the.
Yep. Just to prove my point. Ew. Look. Gross boys.
This isn't
Sorry.
helping.
No, it isn't. I'm getting like attached to some of the monsters that are in the books. It's why I love them. Yeah, 50 speed.
How did you check it?
Yes.
Okay, but he's level 5, which means he has 60 speed.
Yes.
Okay, 60 speed at level 5, and the race is centaur. Let's give him a background. What's a good background that you can think of for a Kentor the Centaur Barbarian?
A generic one. So we can use the background that I used for Sven, but I don't think we'll go there because that one was a bit dirtier.
What was it?
He's motherfucker. Are you serious? Where's the charger?
charges won't reach.
Then why did you even pack it?
So anyone who's watching at home,
sorry,
our
listeners.
video just stopped recording. So we're going to continue this podcast as an audio only for the rest of the remainder of it.
So his backstory could be that he was accidentally born into a like a stallion, stray horses clan, because some human decided to fuck a horse and accidentally birthed the first centaur, or at least he thought he was the first centaur, and then he went out into like society and found out that he wasn't.
Is he like the character from Little Britain that thinks he's the only gay in the village?
Yes.
But he's like,
But
no,
he's
I'm
not.
the only centaur in the world.
And they're like,
No.
there's more centaurs
There's
there. He's like,
6 of
no,
us. We have a society.
I'm the first one in my like horse group.
So in a background,
Yeah.
what am I putting as the word?
Oh,
of the background?
probably like an outlander or a hermit.
Okay.
I would assume. Oh, sorry, I thought you were like genuinely asking what's his background.
We can elaborate that a bit
Rude.
more. What alignment is Kentor the centaur character?
Either straight, neutral, or like.
Do you
I
know
don't
the
want to
rest
say
of them?
I don't want to say chaotic neutral, because that's what all my characters end up being, because
Chaotic
I like
neutral
killing
it is.
stuff.
CNN.
Just CNN.
That's what I did, CNN.
He said CNN. We're not sponsored by CNN. Not
Please,
yet.
sponsors, if you're listening. Okay, so at level 5, we need to do the roll for his health. So
Barbarian's a D12,
that's correct.
which is the soccer ball boy. And that's pretty low. I'm not going to take that one. No, you start with the D12, which is just the flat 12.
Yeah, okay.
And then we haven't figured out his constitution, because depending on his constitution will depend if he gets extra bonuses. So,
Okay, so
we're going to have to roll for some stats.
We're not going to roll. We're going to use this basic array. You can roll. That means nothing.
Yeah.
We're going to use the basic array.
It's actually one of the numbers that we've already got in there.
In the player's handbook of 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8.
Yes.
So the most important stat for Kentor, I think, is going to be constitution over strength. Because he has to run in, be able to take the damage, and then run out.
Yeah, but he can't deal the damage if he doesn't have high strength. Most places always say as a barbarian, put your strength
This is
first.
the Rocket Tabletop first character ever made. We're going to make it slightly different so we're not copying everyone.
Put it in there then.
Okay, so his constitution is going to be at 15.
No, it's not. It's 15, damn it.
Strength is going to be the second one, right?
Yes, which is 13.
No, 14.
But
14.
the centaur has bonuses. I'm gonna pay for it, and I'm gonna buy.
Let's not do that. We don't earn enough money for this.
But then, how do you build it?
To build what?
A centaur. We need to know what their pluses and minuses
I
are.
thought you owned the book.
No,
Then how did you make your centaur?
I took a photo of it.
Please, we
I
don't
might
endorse
have one far enough back though.
endorse this behavior.
Yeah, don't. Please buy the stuff.
Okay.
I have a really good one for 3 halflings in a trench coat, which we'll talk about later.
No, we will not.
Yeah, it's my favorite
What's
story.
that?
Huh?
What is 3?
It's one of what my characters did when they tried to sneak into a village, and it didn't work out at all in their favor. But as a centaur, you have 5e. I think its strength is one of their main modifiers. And then I think it's either constitution or it's charisma. Is I think.
The 2 that they get extra?
Yes. But I'm just trying to triple check, and the only way I can find it is in if we buy it. Wait, no, maybe I found it. No, I found it.
So 2 to strength, 1 to wisdom.
Whew.
It's 40 feet of speed. You're an idiot. So
Well, then it's bumping up to 50.
it's 50 feet of speed.
Your dex or constitution strength increase. But we'll put it in constitution because you wanted it to be our highest
Where
one.
did you see that? Interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we're building it, 14 goes into strength. What's going next? 13 into dex, or are we going to do wisdom, intelligence, or charisma? Is Kentor going to be charismatic?
No, he sucks at it. I think charisma should be his lowest one, which is 8.
Okay.
Because he doesn't believe. No, that's more of an intelligence thing, but that's all right.
I'm putting 10 in intelligence, 12 in wisdom, and I'm going to do 13 in dex.
Nice.
Just because
So did you do the strength increase to +2?
I haven't. I'm
Yep.
going to do that after we do the base one. So
Right.
I know what we're doing.
Okay. So
So-
strength increased to 2. So we put it as 14. So now it's 16,
Yep.
which is a +3.
Yes.
Next in the order is our dexterity, which do we want to put it in dex or constitution, the extra +1?
Where are you getting this extra +1 for?
This one. Your strength score increases by 2 and either your dex or your constitution score increases by 1.
Obviously, we're going to do Constitution.
Yeah, that's what I... The audience doesn't know that.
I think the audience
So
are
13
more
stays the
well-informed than
same.
we are.
So it's +1. So for new players out there, when you're doing your, while Doug does the rest of them, your ability score is from the numbers 0 to 20. 20 being the highest that you can possibly take it. 0 being, actually you can't really have it as 0. The lowest you can have it is 3. Because the idea is that you roll 4d6s when creating these numbers. You pick the top 3 of those numbers. So for example, I rolled 2 5s, a 3 and a 1. So together that makes 13 because I'm excluding the 1. When you're putting in there, 10 is your basic average Joe human. If you were to go out into public and run a race, your ability number would be 10. That's your basic. So it's a plus or minus or just a flat 0. Everything above 10, so 12, 14, 16, and 18 increases by +1. So 12 is +1, 14 is +2, 16 is +3, and 18 is +4, and then you can max it out at 20 being +5. These numbers will come into effect later. Every odd number above that is just rounded down. So 15 is still +2 because it's a 14. And then it's in reverse when you go below the 10 number. So a 9 is -1, 7 is -2, 5 is -3, 3 is -4, and 1 is -5.
I think they get the gist of it.
Yeah, well, I was doing it anyway. I'm enjoying it. So writing those down, we have our constitution at a total of 16, so that is +3. Kentor's intelligence is 10, so plus minus. Or is that 12?
His intelligence is 10, so it's 0.
So, yeah, 0 plus minus.
That's a stupid way to say
That's
it.
not a stupid way. His wisdom is 12, so +1, and his charisma is 8, so -1.
You skipped his dex, which is also
No, I
+1.
didn't. I said 13.
No, you went strength to intelligence.
Whatever, bitch.
Okay, are we going to, from the animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, and survival, which 2 are we going to
His
use
skills?
as skills?
Perception is always one that I always like to have handy. And I think Kentor's are very...
Are we going to say he's very perceptive
I think so.
as role playing? Okay.
Yeah, I think we play into that. What's ability is that for perception? Is it
Wisdom.
intelligent? Wisdom, cool. So that'll be a plus as well. And athletics, because if he's going to be running in and running out, I reckon athletics is something that he'll need. Unless you'd like to change it to other ones.
No, athletics works.
We
I was
could
going to
go
do
into-
animal handling because if the backstory is he was raised by stallions.
True. So maybe he's not perceptive.
What were
Fuck off. Maybe he's not perspective.
Try
Yeah,
that
I
again.
can't do it.
Alright, let's do it again.
Try
it again.
perceptive.
There we go.
It's the C.
Yeah, there's no fucking F in it. Perceptive. Fucking weirdo.
We could go into backgrounds, but I don't think it's really necessary right now.
We gave them as Outlander.
Okay.
So
Do you want to do that now? Or do you want to do it when we upload it to our social medias?
Well, I'm just going to say
All right.
he gets athletics and survival from that anyway.
So we'll change our athletics to animal handling.
Yeah.
And then his background will allow him to have athletics and survival. So he's got a total of 4 skills.
That's correct. So
Pretty
there'll
cool.
be animal handling, athletics, perception, and survival.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're going to complete writing this just off
Off camera.
off
Yeah.
podcast. And then we'll upload it later for anyone who's
Podcast.
interested. Podcast.
Purpose.
Apps.
Yep.
Okay. The most important thing that we have to know now.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have Uno weapons or does he Duveld weapons?
Duveld.
What?
No, I think he's only going to have one and carry a shield
Oh.
because he will have his second weapons being his feet. So he will have that charge mechanic.
Okay, so are
So
we going
I
to have him a
think
giant
he's-
sword, a giant axe, or a pole
Always
arm?
an axe.
Why an axe? I like swords.
You like swords? Yeah, but that's what... No.
He's an axe.
Barbarians are known as axes. Every other fighting class has... I need to stop waving my voice around. Has swords. So fighters, rogues, paladins. What's other fighting tech?
Paladins.
Paladins have swords.
We can give him a giant hammer.
Well, actually, I kind of like the hammer idea.
So do you want to give him okay, this is a call now. We're going to roll a dice.
Yep.
1, 2, and 3 is going to be a maul.
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6 is going to be an axe.
It's a 2. What was that?
So it's going to be a giant, like, maul hammer looking thing.
Love it.
I like that.
I like that idea.
We'll
Awesome.
write that down for later.
Yeah. So now we get to do the fun bit, which is health. So he has a constitution of +3.
Correct.
Which is awesome. So we'll get to add +3 to all his dice rolls. So his base one is 12 because you get whatever the like top number is at first level. 12 plus your constitution. So 15 is his start.
At 15.
15.
Cool.
Then we roll. It's an 11 +3. So 14. He's going to be a strong boy.
So plus 14 onto the
Yep.
15. So 29.
It's a 12. Whew! Not making these numbers up, friends. You can hear me roll. Hold on. You can't hear it.
Wait. Are we doing the 12 was what you rolled?
Yes, 12 is what I rolled, so
plus his
15.
Okay, so plus 15.
So we got a 7 +3 is another 10.
So another 10 on top of the what we've got already?
Yep.
Cool.
And then hopefully a small number. That's another 10, so 13.
So he, at level 5, has 67 health.
That's a big boy.
That is crazy. That's like the strongest character we've ever...
Yes, that's one of the strongest ones
5.
I've had. He did get a max roll in that. And because his
I don't believe
constitution is so high. You saw them.
No, I didn't see shit.
Oh, you're an asshole. He's a big boy, which is awesome. So Kentor the Centaur, the Barbarian, is a big boy. What would his theme song be? Kentor.
Kentor the Centaur. Na, 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 na. His sisters Fang and Candy. A princess and a chimp.
Not a monkey.
His mom and dad are the king and queen of the land of the blue rocks. I think that's would be his theme song.
The Chappers.
He sings that as he charges in. So are we gonna? Is he dumb as in Rocklands, or is he gonna be smart, or is he gonna be brooding?
I think he's obnoxious. Like he is a bit of a
sounds like
cunt.
you then.
Get out. Just get out of my face. I think he's obnoxious because, like we said in his background, he was the only centaur in his horse group. But as he's grown into society and left them, he's noticed that there's more centaurs. But he doesn't want to believe that there are. It's like Santa. He doesn't want to believe it.
What's like Santa?
Real.
Santa is real. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know that. But Kentor doesn't want to believe that.
Wait, he doesn't want to believe that Santa's real?
Santa's actually a centaur in his eyes. Because every major like pop culture character in the D&D world are Santas. No, centaurs. I couldn't remember what I was trying to say.
Neither did I. You just talk shit sometimes.
Yeah, basically. We'll fill in the rest later and we'll upload Kentor for you all so you can choose to either have him in your games or not at all.
As like either a NPC
Yeah.
or if one of your players doesn't want to make a centaur barbarian character, at least you've got something made.
We're probably going to look at trying to get some artwork made of him as well so you guys can have a look at what he looks like. Neither of us can draw for shit. I mean, you're not too bad.
Good, yeah.
I couldn't even do that. I drew a shit and it'd look like a rainbow.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's it for today's episode of Rocket Table Talk.
It's a bit structured, not as much as we thought.
No.
We had some fun. I think Doug's already sick of me for like the hour that we've been here. Let us know in the comments on all our social medias what you guys think, what you guys would like to hear us talk about next. I think next week we're going to talk a bit more freely about some experiences, some fun things, probably categorize some of our favorite pop culture characters into classes, and then wrap it up with bards in episode 3, I think.
Yeah, I think, So next week we might do the Disney one that we were talking about, and we just characterize them and give a reason why.
Yeah.
And then, anyone who's been participating in our Twitter comment section, you'll get a shout out for people that have been giving us
good ones.
Some really interesting answers to it.
Yeah.
You just wait and see. We'll make sure we post when we're doing stuff and updating.
We'll talk about Lana Shell Ray probably on the next episode because we didn't dive into her this week.
Lana Shell Ray's a monk.
Don't tell them that.
Oh.
They weren't supposed to know.
That won't be next week. We're going alphabetically. It'll be down at the bottom.
Oh my God, you ruined it.
Lana Shell Ray is going to be down
I
at the bottom.
don't trust you with your presence.
All right. We're going to sign off now.
Catch you guys.
Bye.